What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different install video here. We're going to be setting up a dual 10 amp hour Dakota Lithium battery setup on the Hobie PA14. I haven't seen anybody do this yet. Issue I've been trying to do is figure out how I can run about 20 amp hours of battery power for running my Garmin 9-inch, as well as running the GoPro while out fishing and having a place to charge phones, things like that. So the idea here is we're going to be running two 10 amp hour batteries in parallel using a dual Mast battery mount setup. So kind of parts we'll need for that are the two Hobie battery mounts. We've got our two Dakota Lithium 10 amp hour batteries. I kind of made this little pigtail wiring harness, which kind of looks like a mess, but I'll kind of walk through what is going on here. We've got two male spade connectors here, which is where the Garmin will plug into. We've got four female spade connectors here. That's what we'll plug into the battery. We're going to be running the battery in parallel, which will give us 20 amp hours, but remaining at 12 volts. We've got this SAE connector here, and this is what we'll kind of pull out to hook up to charge the batteries, so we don't have to remove the batteries to charge them. And then we have this female SAE port here, which is where we've got a little USB port on the back of the boat for running the GoPro as well as charging phones. And I'll probably do a separate video on that one, just to kind of show how that's all set up. But other thing to note is I like using the heat shrink connectors for all these, just to kind of make them a little more waterproof. If you do get any moisture in there, keep things from corroding. But yeah, that's kind of our little wiring harness I made for getting this all set up. And yeah, so the other thing I did have to kind of change a little bit was the machine screws that come with the Hobie bracket are not long enough to kind of reach through both sides of the bracket and still be able to get the nut on there. So I had to buy some inch and a half stainless steel cap screws. Problem is 1.25 inches was a little bit too short, 1.5 inches is a little bit too long, so I had to cut down the screws to about 1 3/8 is kind of the sweet spot for what you're going to want. And if you're going to do that, if you can't find any 1 3/8 stainless steel machine screws, before you cut it down, screw on the nut, cut it down, then kind of, you know, clean up the burrs around the edge with your angle grinder, Dremel, whatever you're going to use to do that, and then back the screw off, and that'll kind of help clean up the threads a little bit and, you know, break off any little bits that you didn't get cleaned up. It's a lot easier doing that than trying to thread it on if there's still some of those little bits. So once you've got two of those, we should be good to go to get this installed. So we'll go ahead and get that mounted up and then do a test of all the systems, and yeah, we should be good to go. Okay, so we're gonna basically put one of these on the back side, one on the front side where it would normally be mounted. Make sure you get the Hobie logo facing up. This little cutout here is where your battery terminals will be able to kind of tuck in there. We're gonna get our machine screws pushed through. Okay, finally got this on. It was a little bit trickier to actually get it mounted on here. I ended up putting the screws in from the back side. That way I could kind of see what was going on with the nuts on this side. I had to flip the nuts over just to where it was a little bit easier to get them started. If you have issues, you could probably get like a little bit bigger drill bit and kind of drill out the bracket a little bit better, or maybe some smaller nuts, some like those have like nylon lock thread on them, which I think makes them a little bigger outside diameter. I don't know. I think that should be nice and secure, definitely not going anywhere. So yeah, next step is we're gonna get the batteries positioned in here, and then we'll start hooking things up. Okay, as I mentioned, you've got the little cutout here, and that's where your terminals are gonna go for the battery. So we're gonna start with the back side first. All right, there we go. We've got, hopefully you can see here, both batteries mounted on the post there. Both of them nice and secure. So final step will be to hook up our wiring. Okay, so we got our little connector here. Try to keep it tucked out of the way as much as possible. Sorry, clicking is probably pretty loud. Keep it on the back side of the mast. So this is our rear USB connector. This will be where we charge from our charger. We're going to connect up the battery. Red to red. It's definitely a tight fit in here. Up our negatives. And finally the Garmin. I'm probably going to disconnect this these Garmin spades and put a little bit of dielectric grease on there, just since those connectors are a little bit exposed. Just, you know, you get a little bit of moisture in there, they could start to corrode. May also put a little piece of electric tape over that just to kind of protect it a little bit and make sure it doesn't come disconnected. So yeah, that is what we need here. So now we'll go do a quick test over here with the Garmin. Make sure we have power. looks good. And sweet. All right, so overall, pretty easy install. Definitely tight working in here. It's a little bit tough getting in that back battery and just getting everything hooked up. Just if you have smaller hands, that might be a little easier. Maybe a helper that could help with some of that. But overall, not too bad to set up. And yeah, now we've got 20 amp hours here, mounted pretty clean. Yeah, I think it should be good. We've got one last tournament coming up here this weekend, the All-American Kayak Series Classic on Truman Lake. So we'll be testing this out for the first time there. Hopefully be a good day of fishing, and yeah, thanks for watching.